Okay, so I was browsing the RuneScape Wiki one day and came across a rather intriguing statement. According to the wiki, money in RuneScape is a necessity for all players. You know what, RuneScape Wiki? Challenge accepted. Allow me to introduce my Coinless account, a challenge where I attempt to play RuneScape free without ever spending or using any coins. The final target? Defeat Kalzook in hard mode flawlessly and claim the igneous Kalzook, all while insisting that coins aren't real. So before I go into more detail on what I'm doing right now, I should probably explain the rules of this challenge. The first rule is the simplest and most central to this challenge. At no point am I ever allowed to use a coin in any manner. If I collect a coin for any reason, I have to drop it immediately. The most prevalent consequence for this is that I can't buy any items from most of the shops in RuneScape, but as I'll explain in a bit, that only scratches the surface of this challenge. The second rule is that this is an Iron Man account. This is necessary for the challenge to work, otherwise I could just barter items with other players and remove all the difficulty of the challenge. This isn't a hardcore Iron Man, but as some of you might have already figured out, and I'll also explain in a bit, that almost won't matter. Next up, currency other than coins is allowed. That means I'm allowed to collect items like toggle, trading sticks, dollar, and the like. No need to go overboard, since the wiki was only referring to coins after all. And finally, this is a bit of a personal rule, but I'm going to do my best to avoid gaining experience from temporary events like the Lumbridge Beach. I'm not going to make this a hard and fast rule, but come on, no one wants me to see me get around the challenge by abusing things like that. Okay, so now that I'm done explaining all that, you're probably wondering what I'm doing in the RuneSpan of all places. To really get into that, I'm first going to have to explain why this challenge is a lot more difficult than you probably first thought. When I mentioned the goal is to take on Kalzook hard mode, I guess that those who are familiar with the boss thought of some ideas on what kind of build I could set up. And there's at least one thing that was probably common to all of your ideas. Animate Dead, right? Well, about that... Anime Dead requires the City of Sentiston quest. To complete City of Sentiston, you need a rock hammer. Rock hammers are obtainable by buying them from a Slayer Master for 500 coins. That's the only way to get one. So yeah, Anime Dead isn't happening, and that's just the beginning. Let's look at climbing boots. Climbing boots are only obtainable by buying them from Frida for 12 coins, so I can't get those either. Without climbing boots, I can't complete Troll Stronghold. Without Troll Stronghold, I can't do God Wars Dungeon 1. And also, Troll Stronghold is a requirement for Desert Treasure, so that means I can't use Ancient Magics either. And Desert Treasure is a requirement for the Temple at Sensiston, so I can't use Ancient Curses either. Turns out you never realize just how many things in this game require coins until you try to not use them. But now it's time to address the Acheron Mammoth in the room. Remember when I said that it almost doesn't matter that this account isn't a hardcore Iron Man? Well, when you die in RuneScape, your items get taken by death. He's perfectly willing to give them back to you for a fair price, that is. A fair price in coins. If I die, I better hope I can get back to my gravestone, because if I can't, my items are gone. Forever. And I can't even upgrade my gravestone timer because even that costs coins. So just like with a hardcore Iron Man, I'm gonna have to gather all the equipment I can with minimal risk before I can even think about getting into the risky stuff. For now, what I'm thinking about is a weapon that can stand up to bosses, and the clearest choice to me is the Seasinger Kiba and Makagai. These are tier 85 magic dual-wield weapons obtainable from the player-owned ports minigame, which thankfully uses chimes and not coins. Player-owned ports also doesn't have any irritating quest requirements. The only requirement is level 90 and at least one of 12 different skills. But why would I choose specifically rune crafting out of the 12? It's certainly not the fastest one. Well, for one, crafting the Seasinger weapons requires 92 rune crafting, so I'm gonna need it anyway. But on top of that, 90 rune crafting also enables me to wield the Greater Runic Staff, which is a tier 75 magic two-handed weapon. This isn't as powerful as Seasingers, but there's one critical issue with ports. It relies on the passage of time. Getting Seasingers is going to take months, and I can't wait that long to get a weapon. The Greater Runic Staff seems like the ideal entry-level weapon. For one, it's buyable with runes event points and not coins. It's very powerful considering it doesn't require any combat whatsoever, but most importantly, it doesn't degrade. Oh yeah, did I mention that repairing most degraded items costs coins too? So until I can augment stuff with invention and avoid the degrade mechanic, once gear degrades into a broken state, it stays broken permanently. This challenge just does not let up, does it? But anyway, I think I finally explained why I'm here in the RuneSpan. All that's left is to actually get up to 90 rune crafting. And it seems as though in the time it's taken me to explain this challenge, I've already leveled up to 9 rune crafting. But even with that, this is going to take a while, so let's get started. Okay, so as you can see, I just reached 50 rune crafting. Still a far cry from 90, but I think this is a good place to leave things. This video is mostly intended to be an introduction to the challenge. Getting to 90 rune crafting is going to take dozens of hours, and I'd like to release the video this month. I do have plenty of plans for routes I can take to progress this account, but I think it's best if I save them for future videos when they start to become relevant. Right now, the only thing that's really important is to rush to 90 rune crafting as soon as I can. I Hopefully by the next video I'll have 90 rune crafting and begin to go over more interesting plans in more detail. And also, maybe do something more interesting than occasionally clicking on a runespan node. We'll just have to see where this challenge takes us. Maybe some interesting things can happen in over 50 hours of runespan. But anyway, that's all I've got for right now. Thanks for tuning in, and make sure to stay tuned for... Oh, right. Membership. Be right back. Now, as I was saying before that rather rudely cut me off, thanks for watching this video, and be sure to stay tuned as I continue to insist that in RuneScape, coins aren't real.